Yo guys, how we do? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're not going to be playing a single player map. We are going to be playing the ranked games here. And in this video, I'm going to be playing all of the placement games for week 5 of the anniversary season, which means GeoGuessr is now 10 years old. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the duels and then hopefully get my rating back up with these two. So starting with the duels, here we go. We're going to be doing this is in the edit. I'm going to be talking over the games that we're doing. So we'll start off taking in the opponents right here. This is going to be JJJ. Then I'm looking around, seeing where this could be. This, of course, is going to be France. And so I'll go straight into the map, go into France, and then I'll just show the results. And this time, I managed to just get 11 points for him. So that's a very good start. Round 2 now, here we are, got nothing here, so we move down the road and where we see a flag of Sri Lanka, and so we just go straight in for Sri Lanka, and we guess Sri Lanka actually, but our opponent doesn't, and he gets Bangladesh. So that's going to be a very nice 3,380 points of him again. Round 3 now again. Nothing much, to be honest. So we go to this intersection right here where hopefully we can see some signs, and we can actually see a sign on the right here which says Porto. So we go for Porto. It is near Porto. He doesn't get it. That is going to be 600 points off him there. Very, very lovely. Round 4, nothing is here, to be honest, so I'm going to have to move down the road. When I eventually find a sign, I'll go for Finland. Turns out it was Estonia, but we both went Finland, and he only gets 300 points or so on me, so not too bad there. Round 5 now, 1.5 times damage. Again, nothing. We have to move down the road for a sign which we do find in Italian, and just because of the vibe, I fully went for vibe guessing this time. I went Southern, and when we see the results here, it was actually Southern Italy, and I was very glad with this guess, and we managed to get our first win. Let's go there. 1 out of 1. Here we go. On to the second leg now. That is what we're going to be doing. Second game right here, we've got against a 1k pluser, as we are also above the 1k now. I'm not honestly sure where this could be, but we're looking to assign, and that is going to be Norwegian. And so I didn't get that though. I went for Sweden, Gothenburg, and I lose on 260 points. I should have known that was my mistake. Round 2 now. Nothing too much to give away there. I'm not sure. We go into the town here. I don't recognise the warlords, but because you know he is a fast player and he's a high player, you're gonna have to just guess when you can. And so I just went for Croatia here. It turns out it was North Macedonia, and we lose out another 1,500 points or so. That's embarrassing there. Round 3 now. We've got cab, and we're looking around. We have got the yellow number plate, and because it's quite flat and not very jungly, I went northern. It was northern, and so yes, we get an emoji from the guy actually. So that's 800 points off him. That's very, very lovely there. Round 4 now, we've got M5 England. Obviously going to be England. We're just going to have to find where the M5 is, but because here we've got Stonehouse, the Midlands, Cheltenham, we both basically get it. So I was 5k closer, only 16 points in it. Round 3 now, not 1.5 times damage. We've got the whites and black poles. We're going to be in mainland Singapore. I'll just go for Kuala Lumpur here. But it was actually northern, but he went for Johor, down near Singapore, so that's going to be 500 points off him. Now round 6 on double damage. This is going to be tough right here to watch, as we've clearly got no low cam, but this just reminded me of Denmark, and with the red tins, I actually thought Belgium would work, and it was actually Belgium there, but he was closer, so that isn't too bad there. The number plates really did help there. Right here, it's a difficult road, but we see the classic Bhutan rocks, and so we go for Bhutan. We go relatively south. Turns out it was all the way in the east of the country, but I wasn't the right idea with it. Going south, and we lose 500 points there. Around 8 triple damage here. We've got the classic Sweden road marks here. So where are we going to go in Sweden? I'm going to go central Sweden. He actually went bit further up, and turns out it was even further. So that is a shame that with the triple damage there, we lose 2,620 points. Now on to round 9 with 3.5 times damage. We've got the classic Spain crossing sign, and then we eventually see Malaga, and so we go down the coast onto Malaga, and we get Malaga, but he doesn't get Malaga, he goes from Madrid. So that's a very, very lovely point there. So round 10 now, quadruple damage, and I'm not sure where we are going to be. So I move down the road a bit and I see a sign, and I'm thinking honestly right now Turkey or somewhere in that area, but we see the Greek language, and so we'll just go straight into Athens, and we get our guessing. I'm just looking about, am I sure this is going to be Athens? Maybe we can find some more specific thing, but I don't think I'll find something, and it turns out it was just a bit further west. But we basically got the same distance there, 44 points, and it doesn't really matter. Both now here very low HP, as we see a sign in front of us on this 4.5 times damage. This is going to be crucial, and we see that Donetsk is only 16 k's from us, and so we're just going straight into Donetsk. We're going to have to find where we are, but it takes a bit of time to locate where we are, and then I accidentally guess, which is not my best planning there, but I don't think I will be too mad with it, because it's not too bad. Donetsk is north of us, that's why I went a bit south initially, but turns out I was even further. It even took my own guess there, I didn't even notice. But that does mean he gets 890 damage as he goes more towards Luhansk, and we win our second game onto 1026 rating, and we get 20 placement points, so get the bronze award there. Very, very lovely. Onto the next game right here. Very nice. This time against the 853, and I don't know where we are. Got Red Underground, so that's going to be very tough. We do find a sign, and it was Thailand, of course. We both basically get the same distance again. Only 2 points, doesn't really matter there. Round 2 now. This is going to be a bit more difficult, but we find a sign in French, or a bit of French, so we know we are going to be in Quebec, and I just think I'll go from near Montreal. It was in between Montreal and Quebec City, but he doesn't even get Quebec, and so that's 2,800 points of him there. Very, very lovely. Round 3 now, here we go. No special damages, we've got a lot of yellow number plates, but also some German architecture. But if we look at that taxi right now, we can see down here it'll say Dan Taxi, so we're going to be in Denmark. Just making sure we are going to be in Copenhagen. I'm not exactly sure where we are going to be in Copenhagen, but he doesn't even get Copenhagen. He goes for Luxembourg with the yellow number plates, understandably. But that is going to be 2,000, and he's now only left on 1,000 rating. So we see this sign, and I think that says BG, so I go for Bulgaria. It turns out it probably said MD, and it was Montenegro, and that's going to be 500 points off me. But I've still got a massive lead on him. Now, 1.5 times damage in probably... Yep, South Africa here. We've got the signs here. Now we're just going to have to find it. Cape Town, so we're going to be southern, and we basically both get it. I was a bit closer, and only 23 points. Nothing big, nothing massive there. Double damage now in round 6. Initially this looked French right here, but we've got some signs in English, so I wasn't exactly sure. But as we move out of here, I realised it was Ireland, and so with everything around it, I got it, and there was 76 points from his score there. 2.5 times damage on round 7 here. This could be the final round, as we've got a Ukrainian red car there, and we go to this sign right here which says Lviv, which is going to be in the west of Ukraine. So I just go straight into Lviv, press it, guess it, and he was nowhere near, and so that's going to be game win for us, and that's going to be 3 in a row game wins there, as we go up to 1,235 in the Master Division. On to the next one, we've got 967 rated opponents here, as he waves down there, and it's going to be round 1, where it's going to be a bit tough with these wide road lands, but I managed to get Turkey. Turns out it was all the way, I think might even call that Kurdistan. Round 2 now we've got, yes, we got the Ghana car there, got the sticker on the rooftops. I tried to get a city in, I couldn't, but I was closer on this occasion, so very, very lovely. 265 points off him, and we've taken no damage at all, as we got standard Netherlands round, so there will be no big points in it. The yellow number plates here, I'm just trying to find a sign of where this could be. I'll just go central. Turns out I was right about the central, it was a bit further east, but he does take 58 damage there. Very, very lovely. Round 4 now, we've got some Scandinavian signs here. I'm trying to look about, I'm not entirely sure. Turns out it was Finland, while I thought it was Sweden. And so we do take 700 damage there, not ideal, but we do move into round 5 with 1.5 times damage. And right here, I was very unsure. I went Norway actually, as I was too neglecting and I couldn't see the flag, and we lose 4,000. Yes, that's where it all went downhill for this game, I'll tell you that. Round 6 and double damage, just double damage here. Again, nowhere really shines. Turns out it was Estonian, and he gets rather quick, and I was surprised, and so we lose 1,700 damage there, and that's our game win streak done. But we have to keep our heads up, and we must go again as we go down to 1016 rating. This time against an opponent, so 1k plus, but a bit further north, a bit further here. As we go into this first round here, there's again nothing much as I go up this road, where I do eventually find a Turkish flag, and that Turkish flag is going to of course be in Turkey, so we'll both guess Turkey here, I think. But it's very non-clear. It turns out it was all the way to the coastline with the Aegean Sea, whatever you call it, but we actually got the exact same distance, which is quite funny actually. Round 2 now, and I wasn't sure, it looked Chinese, and so I went for Hong Kong. Turns out it was actually in China, which I was very surprised by, as he was closer with Beijing actually, so we lose 600 there. Round 3 now, we've got a standard Japan round, and I'm not good in Japan, so it's just a region guess, and he actually got the region guess down with Sapporo, and sadly that's going to be another 2,000 down. And so now we head into round 4 with only 3,300 damage, but we see something Lietuvos, so we're going to be in Lithuania, and so we'll just have to find where in Lithuania we were, but using a sign, we find it was Kaunas, and so he takes 2,143 damage there. I'm not exactly sure where this could be as well, but as we look around, we'll just find France, but I guess Belgium, as I wasn't sure. Yep, 1.2k damage there. This one's very easy, it's just going to be Monaco. It's always been Monaco like this. It's going to be one of the greats. Check out my 25k score Monaco video actually on this map here, where I actually got it pretty bang on in about 47 seconds actually, as we on this attempt both get basically a 25k. Yeah, we both get a 5,000 point score there, so no damage dealt. In round 7 now, 2.5 times damage as we get a Belgian sign right here, so we're going straight into Belgium. I managed to find the area with the river name, and so we get it. He loses 755 damage. Round 8, triple damage here, and I see a scar in the sky, so now we're going to be in Montenegro or Albania. I move down the road, and I eventually find a flag, and that's going to be the Montenegrin flag. So I go for Montenegro, hoping he doesn't get it, but he does, and he's actually close on this attempt, about 29k there. We lose 300 points, sadly. Round 9, 3.5 times damage, as we've got this sign, and we've got the black and white pole with the black Google card. We're going to be in Peru, obviously. We both basically went for Lima. He was a bit closer this time, 186 points, nothing massive there. Round 10, quadruple damage. I'm not sure where we are here, so I'll go down the road, but I do find the exact city with Viborg, and that's going to be massive with quadruple damage. It's going to be 2,400 points against him, and I was only left with 606 points as we go into round 11 with 4.5 times damage. We're going to have to be careful as I'm not too far ahead either. So we just look about to find where we are going to be in Taiwan, but he gets us closer, and so we lose again. GGM, fair enough. I wasn't sure north or south. I took the wrong guess there. Now we're just going to have to again keep our heads up and move on to another game against another 1k pluser. But first round here, we've got a very tough round, as I wasn't sure where this was. And we got a hint later on with Helvig, and so I went looking for Helvig for about 4 minutes, and I eventually found a Helvig. I was very glad with. Now it's just waiting. Does he actually find a Helvig? Does he actually find that Helvig? He doesn't. He goes all the way up north in Norway, so we managed to get 23,500 points there. Very, very lovely. Round 2 now. This is going to be Indonesia. I wasn't sure where. I went for East Java. It was East Java. Very, very lovely. Another 800 points for him. 3 now. We've got a license plate, but I cannot read it, so I'm going to have to go down the road here. And I've been Switzerland with the signs. I wasn't sure where in Switzerland. Just happy to get 172 points damage limitation there. Before now we go to this sign right here, and there you have it. If you look at the sign, it says España, and so just go into the map, go somewhere near the Spanish border, and we are closer than him. It's another 200, only 150 points there. Round 5 now, 1.5 times damage. We've got the Kyrgyzstan Google car, and so we take any risk. We'll just go for Bishkek right here. Maybe we find something else, but couldn't. He was just like 2.5Ks closer, 12 points. Nothing serious there. Double damage down on round 6. I am not sure where we are, but I think we'll go down the road where we find .hr, and so we find Budapest just for safety, and we get 16 points off him in return there. Round 7, 2.5 times damage here. I'm not sure where we are, but we have got a Google car if you look down there, and it's going to be the Ghanaian Google car. Hopefully he does not see it. And we actually find a city, which is Tabale. He doesn't find a city with a 2.5 times damage. That's 3,000 damage, which is enough to take the victory there back into 1021. And so we also got the silver. They're very lovely, but now I have to go on to the next game here as well. We've got to get that one streak back up. On to round game 7 now against a fairly rated opponent, I'd say. Round 1, I wasn't exactly sure. We do have the Brazilian Poles, but we end up going down the road where we find some phone numbers. But at this point, I wasn't fully learned, and so I didn't know where this was. I went south, it was north, so it's going to be devastating for us. But he also hasn't gotten too close, so it's only 1,400 points there. Very, again, damage limitation there. Next up, we've got, again, the Bhutan roadblock signs, or whatever you call them. We go just for capital guess and safety. Turns out it was all the way down south, near the Indian border there. And he takes 1 damage there. Round 3 now. I wasn't sure where this was. With the southern hemisphere, I thought Africa. If we looked at this human being, and we were basically as close as each other, and I take 6 damage there in Lesotho. Round 4 now. Again, can't really find anything, but it's very lovely when you go down the road and you see a CDMX taxi car. So just go for CDMX. He also went CDMX. So again, damage limitation here, 8 points, nothing too serious there. 1.5 times damage in round 5 now. As again, I can't really find something. We do have a white Google car, and so that is going to be the reason why I go for Santiago de Chile. Hopefully he doesn't get it, but I'm afraid that all these clues were enough to actually give him Santiago, and so we get the exact same points there, and so no damage dealt to either of us. Round 6 now into double damage. We've got water, it's flat, it's going to be the Netherlands. So we look for a sign anywhere, but I couldn't find nothing with actual information I could use. But I was closer, and so he would lose 182 points there. Round 7 now, 2.5 times damage. I find a sign which says .pl, and it's just in Polish, and I was luckily a bit closer there, so he takes, with a 2.5 times damage, 325 points of damage there. Round 8 now into triple damage. We've got a special Google car here. I wasn't actually sure what Google car this could be, but I had an idea, and as he pressures me into a guess, I just had to go for the idea, which would be Kigali in Rwanda. So I'll just go straight in for Kigali. Hopefully I get it right, and I actually do end up getting that right. I'm very glad that I managed to guess that correctly there. So I'll know for future rounds that will be Kigali. Next one right here, it's going to be tough, but we have got a sign there. Basically, I think that is Scandinavian, it's Danish. I was all the way in the mainland. Turns out it was in near Copenhagen, and we lose 800 points with it, doing our some damage. Round 10 now, quadruple damage. We've got a fairly basic mortar game here. Going straight for mortar, I guess somewhat south of the city, as I try to look for some clues with this vast open land. I think I should have done better, but I wasn't, and it was the Northern Ireland actually, which is quite, not ideal, but we only do take 60 damage with 4 times damage. Here we go to the junction right here, and we see something in Portuguese there. So we look on this one's for more information. I cannot find the information, but I'm going to just have to shoot it somewhere in Portugal. I went near Porto, and I was very lucky to have it near Porto there. So he does take over 1k damage there, which is very, very nice. Round 12 now, 5 times damage as we got a Kyrgyzstan round. I don't want to make any blunders right here, so I just think I'll just go for Bishkek. So look around now, it's Bishkek I went for. Turns out I was all the way east, not all the way, somewhat east near Kazakhstan border, and we got to around 13, 5.5 times damage. It's a pretty standard Denmark round, but where in Denmark? As I can't read it, I just wanted safety. Copenhagen, turns out that wasn't ideal, as I do lose out on 1500 points there with that 5.5 times multiplier. Around 14 now, 6 times the damage here. We've got something, and I managed to get the SI, which means it's going to be Slovenia. But again, I'm just a bit further, so I lose 444 points on this round. Round 15 actually now, 6.5 times damage. That's a lot of damage. Look for this one. Does it help? No, it doesn't. I go further down the road, and I do find this sign. I think that is Hungarian. Turns out it was Polish. So that's going to be so far away that I end up losing this game. GG, my fault. I should have known that wasn't Hungary. But again, keep our heads up. Yeah, we must stay motivated to end up winning. So we've got a 941 opponent here. So with this round 1, which is not too difficult, as I look around, and I actually remember this from a previous thing I played on GeoGuessr, and I 5k'd it exactly. Sadly, he was also very, very close with 17 damage dealt there. Next up, we've got a basic Mexico guess. I did some region guessing with the area, and so he loses 1200 points there. Very, very lovely. Round 3 now. There's basically nothing here, so I just have to look about. I went for Bulgaria, he went for Western Russia. He was all the way near Chita in Eastern Russia, so I don't take too much damage there, which is very nice. Round 4 now. This is going to be pretty clear. It's going to be India, but I'm not sure where in India. I went south, he went north. I was actually close here, so we take 800 damage, very sadly. But the difference between our HP is not too much, so we get this sign, which is obviously going to be a Budapest sign. I go straight into Budapest. Maybe on the other side to the left of us, which we'll see just about now. You can spot this area. We are in for certain. It's going to be the 5. But I do not end up finding the 5, so I'll just go somewhere there. I think I'll take it. That's 5. Yeah, that's what I do find, the 5. So I think that would be it. It is actually there. It turns out I was a bit further south, but I'm very glad to have taken 212 points off him. Round 6 now under double damage. I have no clue where this is. I just went for Thailand. Turns out it was Vientiane in Laos. And so with the double damage, that's going to be 2,800 points damage. Not very nice. Here we've got some snow coverage, and so I go basically straight into Bulgaria. I don't want to take any risk. I'll think, yeah, it looks decently flat. I'll go a bit north. Turns out it was a bit further to the sea, but we are closer, and with the 2.5 times damage, it's going to be 325 damage. Round 8 now, triple damage here. Well, I've got a park locked in, I think, but we managed to find a way out, and I actually managed to find the park in Dublin here. Very, very lovely. But it's only 18 points as he also gets Dublin. Round 9, I think this is, with 3.5 times damage. This is where it's going to be problematic. This is a special Google car, so I am not sure where it is. I went for Kokos and Keenan. It turns out it was Bermuda, and that's going to be game over for me there. And that is very much a shame there. So, only 2 games left there. Right, we've got one against a 1k plus here. It should be our penultimate round here as we go into round 1. Look about nothing much. I think I'll go for Brazil here with the inventor. Turns out it was actually Bolivia, so I was glad to have even gotten South America on this one. But it was Bolivian, so I do take more over 3,000 damage there. Round 2 now. Again, not too much. I do find .ch, so that's going to be Switzerland. I'll go straight into Switzerland here. I think I basically went central. It was between Bern and Zurich. I went for Bern, nothing too serious there, only 14 damage dealt. Round 3 now. Again, we find a sign. It's not looking too good for us right now. I went for Cambodia. I think he also went for Cambodia, but it was Phnom Penh, the capital, and so again we're losing out on damage here. 416 this time. Round 4, and we've got a sign up the road, but I don't know exactly where it is. I think I'll go check it. I do go check it here. So I was south, it was north, and so I'm losing out on damage. So this is not my ideal game here. I'm on the back foot and everything here, and with these high-rise buildings, I'm thinking Singapore, and so I'm thinking, lovely Singapore, nothing bad. It was not Singapore, it was Dubai, and he's gotten closer with 1.5 times damage at 7,000 damage, and I'm done for. Very sad on my part. That was just a game to forget. So we go into our last actual game there against a fairly rated. I think that was what we were at actually. Going into round 1 here. I'm not too sure, but do end up finding some signs. And I think this is Spain. I go for southern Spain. It was northern Spain. We also got someone, so we take 60 damage on this round. 2 now. I'm also not too sure where this could be. I'm thinking somewhat Southeast Asian. But into Southeast Asian, we both went Cambodia. It was Vientiane in Laos again. 125 damage is not too bad. Round 3 now, as we look into Bangladesh, and that script's going to be very Bangladesh, and we've got a normal Google car. We both went Dhaka. It was Chattogram. We take 1 damage. It's not that much though. Round 4 now, nothing special here. It's going to be US or Canada, but I do find some French. And so we go for Montreal, and it was glad I was Montreal. So that's going to be 462 damage for him. So I think we're fairly equal opponents here. We've got a white outer and yellow inside. We've got a black and white pole there. A black Google card is going to be Lima and Peru of course. So I go for Lima. He somewhat near Lima, but was further north. Round 6 double damage. I am not entirely sure. As we go further south, the entire environment changes. And so I go straight in for Brazil, and it was Brazil, and he didn't even get Brazil there, so I'm very glad. With the double damage, it's going to be over 6,000 damage, and he's done out for this game. So we get it, 10 games played, and it's very lovely. We are sadly below the 1,000 ranking there as we move up 17, and so I tried to see how I've done, but accidentally I went to another match there. Not my plan there, but it has happened, and so we're going to have to deal with it. So first round here, very unplanned actually. We've got a massive blur, but it's looking English, so I'm just thinking, is this going to be Jersey? Is this going to be Jersey? It's looking like it. It was Jersey, but my opponent also got it, sadly. And so we lose on 4 points, not too shabby there. Round 2 now, we've got yellow number plates. It's looking flat. Immediately that should tell you we are going to be in Netherlands. And I managed to find somewhere a sign that said Halen or Australian, so I knew it was going to be south, and that's a very lovely 500 points off it. Round 3 now, we are again going to be in India. With this script, I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking, but at this point I'm thinking New Delhi, and we both get New Delhi, but it was Ahmedabad. Let me know in the comments if I pronounce that correctly there, but I think that's how you pronounce it. Round 4 now, nothing much, but as I move down, I see a Ukraine number plate, and so I'm very glad about that, and the red car. And so we take 300 damage with, he takes 300 damage with a very well placed guess to us. Again, I'm not sure on this one where this could be. I'll just go for Russia. He goes Russia. I'm a bit closer. 1.5 times damage. That's going to be 1,000 damage there. Very lovely. Round 6 now. Triple damage here. We've got white lines. We've got a yellow with a red sign. So I guess we've got these there. But he also got it. So that's a bit of a shame. I'll take 706 damage. So now we go into round 7, 2.5 times damage here, and this is going to be Colombia with the yellow number plates, but I also see Bogota, and so we both get Bogota. He's just one that bit closer there, but 15 damage is nothing to be afraid of. 8 rounds in now, we are with 3 times damage, and we see a mosque, and that sign is going to lead to Turkey, and with this green surroundings, I'm thinking west. Turns out all the way east. 360 damage there. Round 9 now, 3.5 times damage as we get a Google car, which is going to be the Ghanaian Google car. So I'm I'm not too shabby. I'm thinking he's gotten the GGs. I think he doesn't know. He actually doesn't know that. So I guess Ghana was even a decent Ghana guess, but he doesn't know it. And with the 3.5 times damage, we take the victory on this one, and we go above 1,000 again. So very, very lovely that. So guys, I just want to thank you all for watching this video. Leave a like, leave a comment as well. Let me know anything I should play as we do reach the 3,316th ranking. Let me know in the comments down below what should I play next. Goodbye.